This is Ian Hamilton, Field Technical Manager for the West. It's the 14th of July. I'm over here in Herefordshire, south of Leicester, for a final quick look at the variety fungicide wheat plots that ADAS have been doing for us. As you can see, things have moved on quite quickly. The crops are really starting to senesce. Surprising lack of rainfall during April and May this year has affected the sites. You can see in front of me to the left is a strip of Graham plots. To the right is a Skyfall. In the distance you have some Gravity. These were set up to look at 3 different septoria ratings: high, medium and low. So let's have a quick look to see what's on show. I'm going to actually start with the Skyfall here, which was in for its mid rating on septoria, though in fact yellow rust dominated this year. If we have a look here in the untreated plot, you can see complete loss of green leaf. There's no green leaf left at all. If we move over to the next plot, you can see we have got some green leaf still retained, but we've got a lot of senescence. This was where we applied a Alatus era Folpet at T2, and you can see we have retained a reasonable amount of green leaf. The yellow rust control was very good, of course, and we would anticipate a significant yield response. The next plot to that, not looking too bad. That has also retained some green leaf, perhaps not quite as much. This is where an alternative SDHI was used at T2, which didn't control the yellow rust quite as well, but it's kept the low pressure septoria out. The final treatment here on the Skyfall, this is where we actually applied the Alatus era at T1, having seen the yellow rust coming in. And again, you can see it's even lasted through to T2, which had a follow-up spray of the alternative SDHI, but it has retained green leaf better even at the top of the plant. So that just shows that keeping on top of yellow rust early is critically important. Here, looking at the Graham, the untreated first, again you can see mostly senescence. Only low levels of septoria appeared in here. Most of that senescence is due to the natural senescence from the season. If we look over to the treated plot here, you can see that despite the low disease levels, we have retained better green leaf retention. This again was the Alatus era Folpet at T2 over a triazole Folpet T1. Adjacent to that, you've got the alternative SDHI triazole treatment at T2. Not a lot of difference between those two, as we might expect. And finally, here on the Graham, this is the treatment where we missed out the early season T0 spray and had a low input T1, and then just the Alatus era at T2, trying to tailor to the variety. And you can see again we've managed to retain a reasonable amount of green leaf on the flag with the Alatus era Folpet applied at T2. Finally, here on the Gravity, this is the untreated plot. Again, we had a yellow rust in here very early, though it didn't develop as much as on the Skyfall, and then we had septoria coming in quite late. Again, the untreated showing a lot of natural senescence as well as diseased leaf. Next to that, we've got the standard treatment with the Alatus Folpet at T2, and again you can see we've managed to retain some green leaf, at least here, despite the dry weather. The alternative treatment here next to it, alternative T2, again a little bit of green leaf retention, not a lot to choose between the two on this occasion. And finally, if we go to the adapted treatment at the bottom here, what we did here again was put the Alatus at T1 in anticipation of higher disease pressure, which didn't manifest itself in the end. But again, you can see that we've managed to retain, even at the top of the plant, a decent amount of green leaf. So these plots will all be taken through to harvest, probably 3 or 4 weeks away, and we'll see what differences we get with the combine.